always just happy when I've been given like.
And we're live, people deluded. I'm back again. How are all my Arsenal fans doing? Big up the fellow Community Shield, aka English Super Cup champions. We're gonna get into that, people, but it's a good time to be an Arsenal fan. I want to use my words wisely, but the only pessimism I feel in the Arsenal fan base is probably around transfers and signings and game changes on that left-hand side, etc., etc. Pre-season, I don't know, man. You can't read too much into preseason because I've seen us have great preseasons and then go do madness. I've also seen us have terrible mixed preseasons and go and do positive madness. So you can't read too much into it. But what I will say, obviously, it's nice to win silverware. It's nice to be at Wales and see the City fans, like the banter us Arsenal fans were giving them, doing the Poznan, getting at them for their charges, seeing them leave after, the third goal went in. Obviously, seeing the Arsenal players and the fans, it was great, man. And we saved our best till last, if I'm honest with you, where pre-season preparations are concerned. Friday, we go back to war, innit? It's a different surrounding. Last year, it was more hunger, and it's still a case of hunger, but we've got the title around our necks. We've got a target on our head. So, yeah, if you want to come get this pen back, come get it back, man. And it was a great game, man. It was a great game to be there. It was everything, man. Again, I don't want to do this thing, and you can't draw too much into pre-season, but I haven't been paying attention to Manchester City. And I don't know what they look like post Pep Guardiola under Enzo Maresca. The only thing I saw Elliot Anderson do being at the game was this to the City fans in the corner. Other than that, running ragged, treated like a dog in the middle of the park. Odegaard twisting him up on any given occasion. Miles fucking Lewis Skelly. Some of you lot want to sell him. Do you know how cold Miles Lewis Skelly is? Forget his assist, but remember his assist. Odegaard, Miles Lewis Skelly, Kai Havertz, Zolis, they might have got goals or assists or whatever they did in that game, but they all had great individual performances. But City midfield in problems. Rodri's one thing, but it's deeper than just Rodri, if I'm completely honest with you, because they had issues last year. They really struggled. They played decent football in patches, but they really struggled to ultimately get the ball from their defenders into midfield. We stifled them. We were better than them off the ball. Sure as hell we're better than them on the ball. We won the midfield battle. Bruno G. Fans love him and he loves us. It feels like he's been here forever. Some great interceptions and passes. Wondergaard, the class Weesian, Odegaard back to his best, man. Running the show in the middle of the park. You got, him being fit, two serious centre mids behind him. That's what we want to see. I'm not expecting you to play like that every week, Odegaard. But that's for the majority of the Premier League season. People need to be reminded of what you're on. But yeah, our individual midfield stifled theirs. Haaland's a fantastic striker and it is only pre-season. I'm sure in his debut season at Manchester City, he didn't do anything in the Community Shield, and all the journalists and football experts were saying Haaland's going to struggle converting what he did in the Bundesliga. You saw what happened. We don't know how the next season's going to pan out. You could probably imagine Haaland is going to get 20 league goals. But my point of mentioning my man and big him up for, him and Gabriel, there's a lot of respect. You stifle the midfield. Haaland is, every striker is, but Haaland's a service-reliant striker. We won the midfield battle. Haaland is redundant. So, yeah, I think we were better than them off it. I think we were better than them on the ball. I think we pressed well. I think our shape was good. I think there was a number of good individual performances. For obvious reasons, we can't afford any defensive injuries. I think Benjamin White was bloody brilliant, apart from when he got skinned once. I think Mosquera did very well. I think Gabriel did well when called upon. Not that I think he had much to do. Raya, calming influence from corners and making saves and whatnot. I'm sure Ben White saved an effort off the line. And Calafiori's an Italian bull in the China shop. The Miles Lewis Skelly ball's one thing. And City fans know about Calafiori because he scored better goal than that, but he scored before in it. So, yeah, man, I think there was a number of good individual performances. You're still wanting a bit more from Noni. Side note, but I did, and I know it don't always work like this, and it's a different case in pre-season versus when you're playing twice a week, 3 games in 10 days, the international break. But when I was at the game, it's going to sound dumb, but I forgot the amount of players we had. Like I'm seeing Eze, Rice, Zubamendi, Bukayo Saka. He looks like he's got a bit of pace back. All entering the Gyokeres, all entering the fray. Kai, brilliant as well. So yeah, a number of good performances. I like the fact that we were ruthless. There's never a bad time to score a goal. We started as we meant to go on, innit? Like quick early doors. I think Ben White's giving it to Miles Lewis Skelly. He's fed it to Calafiori. We've done what we've needed to do. lapse in concentration there, another lapse in concentration against the run of play, in my opinion, from what I saw us get our second goal. Zolis, lovely to find Kai. We've done that. Generally, 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline. You know, you're then asking Manchester City at halftime, would you rather lose 3-1 or 2-0? So they're going to go for it. Obviously, if they make it 2-1 at some point, it gets very, very nervous. So as much as it's a community shield and all of those kind of things, I'm almost in Premier League mode. Like, you have to find that balance as a team with not forcing it. But if you can get that third and kind of kill the game, go and kill it in it. And we did that. Odegaard sat Donnarumma on his ass, pull it in the back of the net. I think we look fitter than Man City. You know, this is a team that looks like they've, for a number of years, individually and collectively, the vast majority of them have been under Mikel Arteta for a hot minute. Enzo Maresca, I'm not sure. Phil Foden, you talk a lot of stuff about Arsenal Football Club. When it's time to rise up on the pitch, I didn't see anything. It was absolutely lovely. And I have to ask, where is Ryan Cherky? Why is there no stepovers from Ryan Cherky and rolling on the field like a dickhead? We're coming for this Premier League title. But yeah, we saved the best till last. It was fantastic to see the celebrations with the fans and in and around the ground. And I know injuries and all those things, but I think it's quite telling that Nwaneri, you probably were going to be the odd one out when people are fit. But Nwaneri as well, you know, I don't want him to be sold. But I think it was telling that Martinelli wasn't on the bench just because obviously this week Gala offers, then his camp's informed that he's not going. I don't think Arsenal need to sell, but I think there's a want to sell away from, you know, the players that are past their sell-by date, players that maybe not universally, like fans wouldn't universally agree to sell them, innit? Like Martinelli, for example. Most fans are kind of done with it, but it's not like 100% get him out. It's the same with Nwaneri. Gabriel Jesus, Reece Nelson, Fabio Vieira, it's them kind of ones. So I don't know if maybe it's purely a sporting decision. And Arteta said, you know what, these are the better options on the bench. Maybe that's a message that your days are spent at this football club. Maybe it's to try and pressure him to go Gala or go Saudi or wherever been linked with him. Maybe it's a sporting decision. I don't know, but I didn't expect that one. And I do think that's quite telling, especially because we haven't got another left winger. And if we do sell Martinelli, this is more copium, but there's got to be common sense at this football club. Whoever this left winger is, to go and get another left winger in it, because we're light. Then you're relying on Zolis. Eze obviously can shapeshift and move people around, but I don't think it makes sense unless you know 100% another body's coming in. It does not make sense, in my opinion. But yeah, man, if I'm missing it, and if I haven't bigged up David Raya, I need to continue to big up David Raya, because respectfully to Millier, you didn't really play anything in pre-season, and more so Kepa, big him up because you played for Arsenal. Away from the obvious reasons as to why Raya is better than you, it's just so nice to have a calming influence, collecting from corners, making saves, even if you don't have to make 100 saves, making saves, time wasting, taking the sting out of the game. And to be fair to Raya, yeah, a couple of the passes you were feeding, certain midfielders in the Prem can't do that. But yeah, we played very fluid. You know, we weren't relying on set pieces. We pressed well. We played very fluid. No coincidence. You get your midfielders back. Miles Lewis-Skelly has done well in pre-season, but looks even better. Odegaard's picking up where I feel he left off in the World Cup. Bruno G looks like he's been here forever. And of course, you can't draw any conclusions, but there's going to be twists and turns, bumps and bruises, and all of those things. But we'll have a good chance of retaining this Premier League if there's no complacency. Like, obviously, I do care. No one can care about last season. Last season happened. We shared great memories. What we need to do is focus on winning against Coventry, so on and so forth, people. So, yeah, I think that's all I've really got to say in relation to the game. Big up Zolis if I haven't said that. So, yeah, people, man, like, you look around and there will be other challenges. I have said for years on this platform, when Pep goes, I think the fun starts, and Arsenal could win the league this year. Next team wins it next year. And the good and the bad is we know what we do, good and bad, and we know what we need to improve. We don't know about our rivals. You know, it feels like Man United fans changing their opinions depending on what happens in pre-season for them. We don't know what Carrick's on. We don't know what Maresca looks like on a full-time basis at Manchester City, so on and so forth. So all we can do is handle business and try to run away with this league sooner rather than later, if I'm honest with you. But what did you lot make of the game? If you haven't smashed the like button, please make sure. Apologies for not doing a watch-along. Obviously, I was over there in Wales, people, and it's going to sound so ignorant of me, but and I did a match day vlog, so go and check that out because we don't get an opportunity to do that. Shout out to TNT Sports for inviting me. I was going to make a comment. Yeah, I didn't know you didn't need to bring a passport to Wales because I got to the train station and obviously I've got my train ticket and I've got the passport out. He's like, the guy's like, mate, where you got that for? I'm like, I'm going to another country. He's like, nah, it's cool. I'm like, all right. I just didn't want to leave my house. You lot tell me I can't get on this. And then it's long, man. And Wales, man, I know time of living, but they took my water. And they're charging £3.40 for some bottled water. Hey, come on, man. Capitalism's getting ridiculous. Big up, DJ. I need to start locking in more of your lives. Appreciate you, Tyrone. One love. Big up the Brisbane. Big up the Aussies, man. Huggy Bear. One love. Riley, right back at you, man. Sell Jesus and Vieira. Then if we buy someone on the left, then sell Martinelli. Otherwise, no. keep Ethan, sell Reece Nelson. Also, that makes the perfect squad. If I'm honest, Reece Nelson, Ethan Nwaneri, you probably have to wait for one of Mikel Arteta's favourites to leave in Kai Havertz, Mikel Merino, Martin Odegaard. I'm not trying to do the tribalism thing. It's just you lot all occupy a position or positions that I feel you can utilise. Like Nwaneri can play in them roles. The right wing thing, to be fair, when he signed the new deal, all that was coming out the Athletic is they had conversations and there's rumours he don't want to play right wing. Arsenal see him as a central midfielder. I would imagine if I'm Ethan Nwaneri, a bit like Miles Lewis-Skelly at left back or Saka, well, you just want to get in the team first, get some minutes, earn your chops, and then start doing other things. But I would loan him out. I could understand, not agree, but I could understand if this is a money-making kind of thing. He brings some money in. He probably bring in a higher fee than some of the players that needed to go, not just before him this year, but many a year before him. And you just look in midfield, it's blocked. You look in the 10, it's blocked. You look at even the entertainment of which Arteta fueled it, because he said it. False 9, that's blocked. Right wing on paper is, but isn't blocked. I would love for, I don't think it would bang, but on a consistent basis. But the Daumans, the Nwaneris, if we're not going to find someone for that left-hand side, we need to move someone there. And admittedly, Odegaard would have been my man of the match, yeah. And I know it's scary territory when we keep talking about this, Arsenal fans, but I did have that sense of, you know, if I could assume Odegaard played like how he did yesterday against Manchester City, I feel myself more wanting to talk about, Eze left wing. Could we do that? Is that something we could utilize? But yeah, I'm happy we won, but then it's Community Shield means nothing. But if we lost, I'd rather win, man. Like, you can never go wrong winning silverware. See, had moments, but overall we were better. The tempo suited us. And I said this in the build-up to the game. It's like, obviously, it's Arsenal, Man City. There's plenty of talking points with City. There's many of talking points with Arsenal. There's many of talking points, you know, with the two teams and the years and the battle and the Premier League title shouts and all of that. But once you get beyond that and you isolate it with playing at the Millennium Stadium would have been the 16th of August, it's two teams that are not fully fit. Like, no, they're not fully fit. They're not where they are tactically. So I think the tempo kind of suited us there. It didn't really go up and down like that. And that's actually an encouraging thing, man, because we played well and there's so many positives. There's things we can improve, but there's so many positives, but we're not all the way we need to be. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. You can never winning naturally breeds confidence. It's a nice day out. Get the pictures in. And let's make sure we got something to celebrate in May. Big up the Melbourne ones, man. I don't know what it is, but big up the Aussies, man. For some reason, you really love my platform. Appreciate you. As Hyper has said, please can we make sure we're smashing the like button. Gabriel loves defending and celebrates like a 90-minute last minute goal. Love his passion and putting some great blocks. He looks like he's shaking the rust in the soft, man. I'd keep Martinelli. Yes, he's limited, but we need bodies. He has his issues. Surprisingly, they haven't sold Grealish. Hey, bro, when Grealish came on, I thought I saw a goal. So I was like, swear, Grealish is still there. He's lost it. Foden has a massive season. He's been off it for a bit. Still quality, but has to show it consistently. Raya, best goalkeeper in the world. Zolis got 2 assists, and after his numbers in that metric last season, it's a promising start. I still think naturally we've got that right-hand bias, whether our key players on the right-hand side are there or not, because I think I said this in my match review. That Calafiori looked good whenever he got the ball. I think Zolis did as well. I wanted us to hit him more. I know there's dribbling stats where he ain't completed dribbles or some crap like that, but you saw what he did in it. I think Zolis looks a player, man. I have to give him time. He's just come to the football club, but, you know, hopefully you start as you mean to go on. I told you Skelly can do a thing in midfield, DG. You back him like I do, and he showed it. Bro, getting rid of Lewis Skelly's a madness. Bro, allow me. I said allow me. I even tweeted it. Allow me. I hear the Wales. I just thought, I just need to make sure this passport's here. I don't know. First time out of London. Rate me, please. I've been outside London. We smoked City. Absolutely kebab. It was so lovely to see Donnarumma sat on his... Well, I just want to do that in the league, man. That is his problem. Same with Ainsley Maitland-Niles. You just need to play. How about we move Eze to the left, move down in central midfield and keep Nwaneri for the right wing? Ethan's not ready on a consistent basis to play in that Odegaard role. And I don't mean that in a disingenuous way. And I mean that quite positively. You're as great as you are. And, you're ahead of the curve and you're a generational talent and all of those things. You're at where you're supposed to be. Playing on the right-hand side is very different to playing in the central midfield, especially in today's day and age. I keep saying last game of the season, Dalman would have learned a lot in that Crystal Palace game. It's where you stand off the ball. It's what Arteta wants, where you're standing off the ball. It's actually your body positioning and things like that. That being said, of course, there's opportunities and moments. How do you expect him to get there? By playing him there. So we all know long-term he's going to play in that role in it. But right now, it seems like you're occupying the flanks, man. And I just feel with Ranieri, you're the right person at the right person at the wrong time. Sometimes in life, timing is everything. Because for one reason or another, you know, we probably can't give you the minutes in that role that we could in it. Because if you're going to play in the left or the eight, people are not going to put like in your heart of hearts. As much as I want to keep him, and I would fight tooth and nail in that left eight or that in one of the pivots. Obviously, everyone's different, but in one of the pivots, you're going to play Zubamendi, Rice, Miles Lewis Skelly. I'm missing someone, Bruno G before him. In the 10 row, you're competing with Eze and Odegaard. Then you obviously have Kaya, Marino, these kind of Swiss Army knives Mikel Arteta has. They're going to play in those kind of roles ahead of you and whatnot. Right wing, you've brought Noni in. It's just, you're at the wrong. We're trying to win the Premier League. You've got certain other experienced individuals. We probably need you to play 30 odd games, and can't probably guarantee that if I'm completely honest, man. But if it's up to me, I'm loaning him out. I just think I just don't think we should give up on him in it. If Odegaard can maintain his fitness and form whole season, it's gonna be calm. Man City have never beaten Arsenal in the Community Shield. It was a standard procedure for us. Yeah, but we gotta stay calm because I don't want to be. I'm not doing the doom and gloom thing. But last time we beat City in the Community Shield, we didn't win the Premier League, and I think there's a bit of a negative kind of hoodoo around the people that win the Community Shield. Martinelli is going nowhere, no matter how many online fans repeat the narrative. Bruno G and Zolis look class. Just hope they can keep their form going until the end of the season. As you know, it swings and roundabouts. People are going to have form, then lose form, then gain it back. Some people are just going to have poor seasons. Some people are going to have better seasons than we expect. It's just football, innit? Like, that's just how the world goes, man, if I'm honest. It's Arsenal versus Liverpool this season. I wouldn't sleep on City, but it just feels like you've lost a lot of experience. You've lost a lot of leaders. They will fix it. I mean, City spend money, but their midfield, I'm not scared of anyone necessarily, but I would be a lot more scared if I looked at City and like the midfield is gelling. It's just a bit like how I feel with Liverpool and Chelsea, and that I think they can get their ships in order and fix up their house sooner rather than later. But until I look at their defense, or we like whether it's their individual defenders, their goalkeepers, or like the defensive, like how we look at their standard of defending, until I see that, I'm not really shook. I won't say we got a free run. We definitely don't. But what we do have is if we just left foot in front of the right, every game at a time, take what needs to be, take what we're good at and make it great. Obviously, address the evident areas of improvement. Keep some people fit. My attacking players, you all had moments last season, but we need you to have more consistency throughout a year. If we can do that, I think we've got the Prem. Now, personally, I'll back us all the way in the champs. I want to get to the latter stages. I do have us down for the quarters and semis. For me to truly believe in the Champions League dream, I think you need a star in it. And respectfully to my you need more than that. You need all the other factors. But I don't feel I have that talismanic figure on the left-hand side. Big up Zolis because I'm not including him in that convo. We look like we was enjoying our football again, but I hope we mix and blend the styles of play this season. No doubt, 100%. And again, the mentality. Like, people say we can't play football. It was very entertaining yesterday. I'll be so frank. I don't care what happens with Nwaneri anymore. If Arteta sees fit to sell him, then resell him. If he does go, buy back, sell on clauses, you know where we need to go. If we get rid of Gyokeres, it's going to be another season of scoring mediocrity. Throw everything at Barcola, man. Even if it's our last signing, could be the next Henry. I can't lie. If he goes and does that in hindsight, then what I'm about to say probably makes no sense. But really, 145 to 150 million for Barcola, where it's not evidently clear you're a level raiser. You're a level raiser by default because you're probably better than Martinelli. But really, I don't think it's the right decision, man. Fire, appreciate you. You know I stand with Martinelli. I think he needs to stay. Zolis is great. Hit the likes, everyone. I got an early birthday gift with that 3-0 win yesterday. Happy birthday in advance, my boy. Best for Nwaneri is to go on loan. I'd say Dortmund, don't sell him. Nwaneri's got some good clubs. If you want to stay in the Premier League, Fulham apparently on you. Leipzig and Dortmund are on to you. We all know, like, that is we know what the German clubs do. AC Milan historically be interesting, but what I do think you need is some stability. You need to be somewhere a year or two where, if it's at Arsenal away or away from here, where you're actually knowing you're going to, nobody knows, but you're going to be playing week in, week out. You don't want to end up in that Reece Nelson trap where we still really talk about him like he's an 18-year-old. Time moves quick. The years go quick. The days are long. He's 26. We can all remember Arsene Wenger, like, fresh in the memories. How long ago was it? I won't be surprised if the outgoings are underwhelming. Only thing I can say for sure are Nelson, Jesus, Fabio, and hopefully Kepa. Really gonna let Kepa go now? And yeah, he's good enough, man. And even if he's not good enough, like, how are you meant to be good enough? Heard Nwaneri team demanding he play central and not wide on the wing. I don't know, man, because there's a lot of whispers, man. I don't think he would have demanded anything. Obviously, you can have a preference, and I don't think you're in a position to be making demands. But if it is true, you need to go somewhere where there's an evident pathway in central midfield because you're at the bottom of the queue. Not to mention all the examples I said earlier. Whether I like it or not, it's just reality. Marino and Kai will play central midfield ahead of you. Get rid of Martinelli. What's the obsession with some fans? My thing is, you get rid of Martinelli now. What? Get rid of Martinelli now. What? You're literally weaker in terms of bodies. So I don't want to do this emotional thing. I don't want to spend 145, 150 million on Bacola just because I'm so desperate. I don't want to just get rid of man because I don't necessarily think you're the guy. I don't think we can maneuver like that. Champions League is Arsenal this season. Well, before PSG won the first one, I said they'd do a three-peat, so I still back that. I don't believe we can win the champs in it, but I'd love it to be proven wrong. And if there's any surprises, the boys have given me that in terms of Europe. But yeah, man, is what it is in that regards. Big up DG. Big up DG was there yesterday, going back to back like Drake, saying it with chest. Yeah, I think we win the Prem again, but we need to just stay humble and keep working, man. We just need to stay humble and keep working, man. I'm not fully convinced with Bacola. I think we should look at Eze as a serious option off the left. Yeah, but then Eze on the left, we know it's a game state kind of thing. It's certain conditions. I kind of just want a left wing. Like what Zolis is, like, yeah, you can play all about, but that's your thing. I know what we're getting is we don't have to put a magnifying glass and turn into football scholars and analyze and under-analyze and over-analyze. Therefore, have that in your back pocket. Like if you go and bring in a left winger and you've got Zolis and you've got Eze or whoever you want that could play out there, more ingredients in it. Arsenal are Ndiaye away from winning the league back-to-back. But even Ndiaye, man, well, selling Odegaard's crazy. Decent little win, DG. Only the charity shield, though. You have to get there by either winning the Prem or the Champions League. All the FA Cup. We've done that. Don't want us there. Make sure you can't win it. And to be fair, the great Sir Alex Ferguson, the great Pep Guardiola, they list it among their runners. Jurgen Klopp as well. Who am I as a commoner to not? And fuck you lot as well, because now it's only a friendly. Because when we're getting crap, when we're bottling it against Como, the games prior in pre-season, you non-Arsenal fans are doing the most. When we're telling you it's only pre-season, you're not hearing that. Now you want to quiet us down. Don't think I didn't see you lot bottle a lead against AC Milan. Please. Selling Odegaard silly, man. If I'm honest with you. Sell Madueke, keep Ethan back up right wing, sign Ndiaye left wing and Osimhen striker. I refuse to believe we are in for Osimhen personally. Big up Thierry Henry. Happy birthday to the king, man. I'd take Gyokeres if he's available. I think he wouldn't be against going Barca. I'm on the sell Odegaard train, but looking at the market, let him stay one more season. I hear it. It's simple. It's simple, or should be, in my honest opinion. Any youth who has shown quality we keep, unless due to bad luck, like Smith Rowe, Willock, and Ketia had to go. Ethan showed quality, he must stay. The final against PSG didn't show you that Arsenal can win the Champions League. No, because we didn't win it. What did it show me? What did it show me that I don't know? That we can define the odds, that we can go against teams that people say are going to whitewash us, and we can tactically stifle them, and we can compete. Obviously, regardless of where Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, them kind of clubs are at in what's ever happened the previous season, naturally, because of the belly of the beast, they're always going to be seen as the favourites for the Champions League. Excluding that, do I think we're excluding that and giving grace to them kind of clubs there? Do I think we're in the mix 100%? I don't think people in Europe necessarily want to play us. But from a place of love and me going to the next level, looking at the game against PSG, we done them in tactically. And that, granted, unless you win that, people got something to say. We go gunshot for gunshot and make it an open game with PSG. We would have got killed. Obviously, if we held on to the 1-0 lead, it would have been job well done and whatnot. Obviously, again, with that not happening, you do have that stinky feeling, oh, should we have gambled a bit more? Should we have went more forward? Which, to a degree, I do agree with that. But you saw Kvaratskhelia. That final in for Kvaratskhelia, it's not going to be in his YouTube highlights. But he got the ball, got the wrong side of Mascara. He won a penalty. We need those kind of players that can make those moments happen. So that's it for me, really. And I do think I think in the Champions League, there's more food for thought with Mikel Arteta. Like, I just, again, looking back, these players needed to come off. Sport logic told you they needed to come off. So I'm not criticizing the manager's decision. It's just, there's always something to learn in hindsight. I do wonder if the Sakas, the Kais, the Odegaards, all of them kind of players, if they stayed on the pitch and it went to penalties, would it have been a different outcome? Like, I don't know. I'm reaching with that. So no, like, I don't. I do think with the Champions League, you need a lot to go for you, really, and things like that. Like, you need We need, as I said, you need individual quality. I would love to sign this Joe Bloggs left winger that's going to be our Vinicius or this one and that one. Equally, you need your other players arriving in a good moment. What I specifically mean by that is credit to all of my boys in every competition. You lot put your bodies on the line for this cause to get over the line. But we did come into it. Saliba nursing a back injury. Bukayo Saka, we know about what's going on there. Martin Wondergaard, the same. Kai's carrying knocks. You need a lot to go for you. If we have all of these things going for us and we had that, then I'm a lot more bullish. I still don't have us as favourites, but I do think we can get to the quarters and the semis. And yes, there's been year and year improvements, but that's just how I feel, if I'm brutally honest. Burr wants us to be more of a transactional club and not a family club. We are competing with the big boys now, and we must get used to selling popular players. The club has to continue to evolve. I hear it, but right now, it's going to be a hindsight thing if we evolve. Like, what signings have we made that evidently evolves us? Because I would say Bruno G, naturally, I do think he's a level raiser and things like that, but we have technically just further strengthened the strong position in central midfield. Like, what has elevated us? And it's from a place of love, I'm not criticizing the team, but what has elevated us? I need my players to stay fit. I need greater consistencies from the Odegaards, from the Sakas, from the Ezes, from the Gyokeres, from the Kais in their own different ways. Like I said, they all had their moments last season, but we need greater consistency. So, yeah, that's what I would say with that. We can keep Martinelli for another year. I don't think we need to be in a rush to sell him, but need a plan for his replacement. And we know how life works, bro. Man can get injured. What happens? I'd rather us be overstocked. Now, I know there's a need to probably clear out ranks. And to be fair, I'm probably repeating the same things. You get rid of him and sign a better player, but Bacola is not the only option. If the club have these Joe Bloggs, because we've tried to pinpoint what left winger, if they know who they're getting, and you sell Martinelli, and that other guy gets in, and him and Zolis are cooking, you won't hear me complaining. Man, Osim is just easy to link us with, man. Even it's too difficult, it's too difficult for Arteta to have time for. That whole scenario of him wanting to go on loan instead of just fighting it out for some minutes at Arsenal that burned him, Arteta not interested. I disagree. I think naturally the club might have wanted him to stay as a body because it's like since he went out on loan, it felt like people got injured the next day, but he probably was angling for a loan in the summer regardless of his new deal. All right, we'll give you 6 months. The pathway is just not there. So yeah, man, it's just not there. Martinelli proved his worth in that Champs final because he was an outlet. That's what you see when you say stuff like that with Martinelli, and we talk about the negatives and positives. That's what I mean when I say I just accept Martinelli as a tool in a toolbox. If we're under the cosh and we're winning 1-0 and we're defending for our lives in a Premier League game and the other team's onto us, I might throw in a Martinelli to help us defensively. But obviously, as I just said there, if the other team's pouring forward, the fullback has something to think about with Martinelli there. You're a tool in the toolbox, just like Noni. I don't really have expectations on you in terms of I want you to do it. I would love you to do it, but double-figure goals and assists and all of those kind of things that we've seen this movie now, man. Do you appreciate you? So, yeah, man. That's what I would say, man. Call me a conspiracy theorist, but I'm hoping this MLS Nwaneri news is intentionally fake to spark a light under them and see if they'll fight for their places, or maybe I'm just sad and coping. I don't think Lewis Skelly goes anywhere. I just think it's speculation. And to be fair, what is said in the media, we see it week in, week out, is very different to reality. Like, best to just block out the noise. What would be the price tag for Victor Gyokeres? Just give us a little 10 mil on top of what we paid. But again, I don't think it makes sense to sell him. Because there's times we're going to need Gyokeres to just put the ball in the back of the net. At the end of the day, whether I like Gyokeres or think I don't think Kai or Gyokeres, for where I want the team to go, I don't think either of you are the first choice number 9. Kai, dropping into midfield, the whole link-up play over 90 minutes, that's your thing. You might not necessarily be the most clinical, but you've shown an ability to score goals. Gyokeres, you've shown an ability to link-up play, but you're always going to be butters. We might just need someone that's going to put the ball in the back of the net. Now, if it was up to me, from where I want the club to go, I would find that A-list striker and probably have Gyokeres as backup. And I'd probably look in the next 12 months to depart with Kai, because as much as I like him, I think there's a lot of excuses cut for why he should be in our starting 11. And we're praising a man for doing stuff that Marino could do really and truly. And I might be able to shake his wages. But I always back Kai and I always defend Kai and always push back on all this whole selling stuff. I think he's an easy target. We're kind of at where we're at. It'll be interesting generally to see what happens with Gyokeres long term, with Kai Havertz owing to his contract, Martin Odegaard the same, and actually Marino like being 30 years of age. So yeah, poor market at the moment, makes no sense selling our quickest winger. Pace is a fullback's worst enemy. How we do the Ethan deal like that of Nico Paz, sell on clause, buyback clause, matching rights. Yeah, Ollie, I'm on all of that stuff. If you're selling him permanently, Even the permanent deal's got to look like a loan, 100%. Do you think Gyokeres will be sold to Barcelona for bringing Osimhen? I don't think we're going for Osimhen. For me, I'm not going to say it don't make sense, but why? Like, where? Where is it going to come from? Like, if Gyokeres was to leave today or Kai was to leave tomorrow, then I would give thought to it if it makes sense. I purposely leave out Marino because he's staying. We need him. And I'm purposely not to include in Jesus because I don't think he's relevant. I don't think it makes sense. The final is the final, but the last two entire Champions League seasons showed we can win it. We showed teeth against the big clubs. We showed teeth. We defo showed teeth. We pulled off some shockers. Like, even I didn't think, obviously, going into the Real Madrid game, I didn't think we could do that. Since the Bayern Munich game, we've shown year-on-year improvement. But I do have to push back on that because how has it showed we can win it? We ain't done it. And that's the mindset we need to be. We ain't done it. So we haven't showed we could win it. It's just like with the Premier League. We've now shown it. And as much as we knew people were chatting shit about our manager, about our football club, you know, we had an element of shooting ourselves in the foot, but we did well. I'd always tried to bear in mind in life, within reason, and this will go over certain people's heads, and some will understand. Until you prove them right, until you prove yourself right, they're all right about you. Until we won the Prem, they're all right. Now, I don't have to consign to, we're bottlers and all of this. But until we got over the line, they're right. And that's what has to drive us. Until I see that individual kind of stuff, I won't wholeheartedly believe we can win the Premier League. I genuinely feel Arsenal's cursed in Europe. I think if we're going to win the Champions League, Champions League is what I meant to say. If we're going to win the Champions League, for me personally, I think we're going to have to be perfect. We're not going to get no Man United 1999, 08 Man United where Terry's slipping, you know, Chelsea with how they won it the first time with a shit season and Di Matteo, Liverpool being 3 goals down. I think we're just going to, it sounds dumb, but we're just going to have to be the best team in the competition and the best team in the 90th minutes, man. So, yeah, man. But of course, I hope I'm wrong. Obviously, if we don't sign a left winger and these madmen that we want, or that I want, and we're in the Champions League next season, of course I want to win it. But yeah, and part of me, I don't want to, for me, Champions League every day as it comes down, man. I've seen us take the lead in 2 finals. We didn't get the job done. You throw in the Europa League thing. Maybe Europe's not for us, man. Makes no sense to sell Nelly without a replacement. If we get another Bruno level signing, we'll be good to go. Not question. We need someone else to rotate with Martinelli. That's not a step back. Okay. Hats off to you, DG, for doing that vlog yesterday. It gives fans like me who hardly get match tickets an insight into the stadium. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. It's pinned to the chat. Appreciate you, man. Like, and I thought, why not, man? Why not? Why not? And it was so big up to everyone who watched my match reaction as well, because it was so annoying. Like, Wi-Fi was Wi-Fi / mobile data, if it's not Wi-Fi, it was amazing in Wales. It was amazing. It was working. I was uploading. I was having an amazing time. You see, once I recorded that and was trying to get that out immediately, do you know how hard it was? Do you know how far I had to walk from the stadium and try to get away from people because maybe there's too much phone? So, yeah, appreciate you, man. Can't see Havertz, Marino, Gyokeres all at Arsenal with 3 seasons in a row. And to be fair, with Kai and Marino, we made them strikers to a degree. Arteta didn't want Ethan on loan until it was to Zerbi because they share similar football philosophy. Things just haven't fallen for Ethan. Big clubs sell top targets all the time. It's normal. Relax. No way to sell Victor. We need another proper striker and players of 4-4-2. To be fair, off the ball, it is 4-4-2. But 4-4-2, I mean, I say this and someone's going, 1 second, people, I'm still here. I say this and someone's going to do it and it's going to work. But to me, I don't think 4-4-2 can work in today's day and age. Unless you have like Rodri, Busquets, Messi in a fault, or Messi up, what Haaland. Let's make it simple. Thierry Henry, Haaland up front together. What is this? Haaland and Henry up front together. Fucking, I don't know. Patrick Vieira, Roy Keane, central midfield. Cristiano Ronaldo, right wing. Perez, left wing, and just insert great goalies and defenders there. 4-4-2 can't work. You're going to be outnumbered. Because the striker's dropping into midfield. You got inverted fullbacks. The inside forwards are narrow. It's a numbers game. You're going to get, no matter how good you are, you're going to be done. It's good on paper. Sounds wavy on FIFA. And even if Arsenal were to do a 4-4-2, it wouldn't be like the late 90s, early 2000s. You'd have a false 9. You'd have a bit of cute and clever stuff, man. Jokes aside, but I think Arteta dropped the ball by not signing Pedro Neto, but big up DG. Look at this guy. That is joking. If we ditch Gyokeres and get Osimhen, I think it's a sideways step. He's not significantly better. I think he should leave, but we had chances and time to play him. And when I got Noni, reports in Spain, Barcelona looking at Gyokeres. To be fair, Barcelona are being linked with every striker. Obviously, Julian Alvarez is the one. You're getting linked with Luis Suarez. I could be wrong, but didn't he replace Gyokeres? But you're being linked with him. You're being linked with Gyokeres. Every now and again, the Toro Martinez rumors resurface. You were linked with Krupi. You're being linked with Rashford again. I'm sure there's an extra striker missing out. So it just feels like whispers are west, man. Unpopular opinion, Marino is our best striker. It depends. What's the striker's job? To score goals. Gyokeres got 14 in the league, 21 all comps. As I said, every attacker played their part. Now that's for Gyokeres. Also, we know necessarily in today's day and age, unless you've got a Haaland, strikers aren't necessarily the most clinical in the starting 11. You need to, and goals aren't necessarily the most important thing with a striker. Now you got to drop into midfield, you got to work the channels, you got to fight with the centre halves, you got to be a sacrificial lamb, in which Marino can do that a lot better. Havertz can do that a lot better. And I know there's no chance of it happening yet, but after the game, I was at the stadium and I saw Gabriel Magalhaes and Haaland just like talking. And you know, for a split second when you dream, you just think, imagine we could just bag Haaland, you know. Like, imagine Haaland just wanted to sign for Arsenal. Imagine Haaland. But then I woke up. So, yeah, man. So, yeah, it is what it is in that regard. I'm a bit late to your live stream. Just finished watching your match day vlog. Appreciate you, Els, man. Thank you for taking the time to do all of that. Gyokeres played a huge role in Arsenal winning the league since Jan. He scored every other game. Bro, every one of these players, every one of those attackers, Gyokeres will polarize opinion. Kai Havertz, Noni. Yeah, the attacking unit, man. Fans going at Noni are funny. Fact is, a fullback would rather defend against Ethan than Madueke. Experience and physicality in the Prem is real. Yeah, because Madueke is a traditional fullback. He's going to take you on, innit? Nwaneri will be loaned out, then come back next season after we sell Madueke for 20 million. You reckon we're going to sell Noni, yeah? Gyokeres, for me, is a final piece type of player deficiencies in attack. Clear affects the output of players like him. Hopefully, we get it right and start going. I can't lie, I don't know what that means, man. I don't know what that means. You're going to have to explain that in simple terms for me, my boy. Noni was better than Saka last season by default. He brings something different to the attack, just needs to work on his end product. Bit like Martinelli, it is what it is with Noni now. You're here, I'll back you. You're a tool in the toolbox for me. Goals and assists, show me that. Show me that. Because I think, personally, whether you have great seasons or bad seasons, I think you're one of those players, you're going to play like this for the rest of your career. There's some of your decision-making that I think you should have been patterned up a long time ago. Show me. I do think he gets a bad rep. I do think he's an easy target. I do think he gets blamed for a lot of stuff. I think there's a lot. I think where I look at our attack, it divides a lot of opinion, and there's a lot of scapegoatism. There's, you know, there's like Gyokeres hive and Gyokeres haters. There's Kai hive and Kai haters. There's Odegaard hive and Odegaard haters. There's, you know, we all love Nwaneri in it, but I think some people love Nwaneri so much they're not applying common sense, if that makes sense. I actually feel there's some people that draw out Eze. I think, you know, there's polarizing opinions with Martinelli, and there's no way around it. For us to get to that next level, if you break our team down into 3 units, we know what our defense is on. We know what our midfield can be on. Well, we know where it is on. Now, hopefully, Lewis Kelly plays there on a more consistent basis. We know about Rice. We know Zubi. Bruno's coming. It's the attack. And at some point, we have to have that mentality. Goals win games, innit? And it's another season which, contrary to popular belief, we do score goals. We scored 121 in all comps. But for me personally, it's like, what is it I say here all the time with you lot? It's escaped my mind for whatever reason. Oh, yeah. I know we will score goals, but I don't know who will get the goals. Like, Zolis might surprise me. Eze might show me more consistency. Kai might have a strong season of goals. Gyokeres might pick up where he left off, bearing in mind it's one season. A fit Saka, for me, is the closest thing we got to a sure bet. The last 2 years go against that. So I don't really know. Even Trossard, like, the numbers weren't that, like, what was it, 6 goals, Martinelli got 1. It's these kind of questions that needs answering. We know we can get X amount of clean sheets, do this and do that defensively. So that's the territory for me we got to move to, man. Bro, you lot are moist, man. All you Gyokeres haters moist, bro. Like, you lot are moist. There's Calafury haters as well. I like them all. There's very few players. Like, I've got a bunch of players that I consider imperative to what we do, untouchable. I truly believe in you lot. You lot are the ones to drag us. Obviously, it's a team game. That's the name internally, the minds internally. If your name is not one of those, everything's up for debate, man. For me personally, if it's not Declan Rice, and I'm probably going to miss out some, but if it's not Declan Rice, Gabriel, Saliba, David Raya, a fit Bukayo Saka, like I said, Timber, I might miss out 1-2 names, but if it's not them, and Lewis Kelly big him up, but if it's not them, it is what it is, man. Like it is what it is. if I'm honest. The same way Noni gets criticism are the same reasons we love him. Sometimes that rigid approach is needed when bucking certain teams, which is why, for me, Noni's the last reball. He's a good tool to have in a toolbox. The only frustrating thing is the decision making in it. So, yeah. And if the penny dropped, if he genuinely had that decision making, I reckon he'd be world class. Like, if he had Saka's decision making, I reckon Noni would actually be world class. But he don't. If your mum had a willy, you might have two dads in today's day and age, innit? Big up everybody. But that's to a degree, I have to accept man for what they are, man. The only, when it comes to Marley and Miles and Ethan and Dowman and the young players, that's when I'm talking about potential and all of that. A lot of you experienced internationals, man. So I have to accept you for what you are and what you can and can't do. And let's just move in it, really and truly. Should we see what the gaffer has had to say as well? I mean, nobody's talking about Arsenal from set pieces. We created nothing from set pieces yesterday. Still found a way to score 3 goals. Zolis is cold, man. I like Zolis, man. He's going to... I was going to do a preview video, yeah, where I did like my player of the season, surprise of the season, spoiler alert, my surprise of the season. I have another name and I won't say it if that's what you want. But I was going to go with Zolis, but then I feel like I'm cheating because there's no one really else, is there, like, to have a surprise of the season. But yeah, Zolis generated, for all you nerds out there, 0.71 expected assist today, more than any other player. Did he not get 2 assists yesterday? You set up Odegaard and did you not head it for Kai? I can't remember for the life of me. But yeah, City were outmatched, outrun, outscored, outclassed, innit? Pardon me, panic on the streets of London, they said. Twats. Anyways, let's see what the gaffer has said. I'm obviously extremely happy with the performance, the result, and winning the first trophy. We talked about the desire that we have to start the season and to show ourselves how much we want it. And again, Arteta, big up you and the players, because it's one thing saying it. Football is watched by everyone, different languages and all sorts. But we all speak one language, and that's what you do on a football pitch. And I think the body language, the way you played, it was all there again in the Community Shield against City. And I certainly saw a lot of positive things there against the top opponent. On Zolis, I think he's coming to the team really organically. He's fitting. He's a really intelligent boy, and he has a massive quality, which is when he's in the last 20 to 30 meters. He's so composed to pick people out around the box or to finish actions. He's shown that again 2 or 3 times, and he was decisive. Now, it's fair to say Zolis is the number 1 in it. Martinelli weren't in the squad. I think it's down to the preparation that we done in pre-season and the decisions that the boys have taken after the World Cup to continue to get prepared, to come early because they wanted to be part of this. They really wanted to win the competition because it's something they earned last year, the chance to play against City here. I'm very impressed with the manner that we played, especially in the manner that we competed. So that's a standard for us. If we drive the standards at this level, I'm sure they're going to be really, really competitive. When speaking about psychological impact of being champions, probably there's more belief, 100% in the fan base and the players. Like, as much as, like, up until we obviously got the league done, we know we were building towards it. We know you can do it, but there's always that little thing in the back of your head. Now you've proven it to yourself. Now there's, success actually brings problems. There's actually different conversations we can have, but there's more belief. Like, yeah, we're here now. Like, you don't let your nuts hang. Like, we've been working to this, and when you work towards a goal and in a couple of years you don't quite get it, when you get it, it must be a weird feeling, because you do feel a sense of accomplishment, a sense of relief, a sense of desire. You do have that hunger again. You do have that confirmation that you've done it. But then also, and this could be a good thing, and this is probably why you see Pep Guardiola, Arsene Wenger, Sir Alex Ferguson, any top business individual, any top athlete, they don't just have one bit of success. They have that stamina of motivation, because it drives them for more. Because sometimes when you achieve a goal, I'm not saying this for the players, because Premier League's a fantastic achievement. Any trophy, I know we look at it as fans, but the amount of active footballers throughout a career that actually win silverware is actually quite slim, if I'm being brutally honest with you. But yeah, man, it's a weird one to consider. It's a weird one, because I'm not suggesting that it's not a big thing to win the Premier League. But I'm sure if I got to speak to one of these players off the record, not to belittle the Premier League, but when you got it, did it feel like how you imagined? And in many ways, it probably did. In many ways, it probably don't. Look at you lot in all of us people. There's things we've achieved or realities that we're going through now that, yeah, we're happy, we praise God, we're whatever, yeah, but it's probably not what it cranks up to be. Versus if you could have, like, yourself, that same scenario, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, whatever, you would have bit your arm off to be in that situation. So I always find this a weird one. I think psychological factors and all them things, maybe because we don't really get to see the human elements of footballers, or people don't it sounds dumb, but I genuinely think people forget football is a human. I don't know people. You know how to do it. You know what it takes to win, and the contributions of everyone. Because last season, that was the biggest asset of the team, that every single player contributed to make us champions. We know that's going to be exactly the same. He then was asked again about Zolis. That's a natural quality. He has better players around him. Sorry, Club Bridge. We might circle back for some more players. You put him in more and more situations, so the volume is higher with the level of quality he has. The numbers will be higher. He's so eager to learn, to improve, to practice, and it's not a coincidence. He's a really consistent player in everything that he does. I'm really impressed with him. Only if our midfield is the best in the world, I'd give that to PSG. But we got to be second. I mean, Real Madrid, your players, you know, on in terms of the names, if they were all playing to their potential, what got them the moves, I'm sure you could say something. Bayern's is quite a functional unit. In the Premier League, I think we do. Best options and best collective. Like, I'm trying to think. Is there any midfielder? Well, I guess I could technically say Rodri because he has not completed that move to Barcelona. But is there any midfielder I would quote unquote be dying to swap with my existing options in the Premier League if your name's not Rodri? No. 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 I was gonna say something, but then you lot probably get onto me because I'm the king of backing Zubimendi. I was gonna say, let's just say the you that got nutmegged by Odegaard. In a hypothetical world, I might consider that in terms of squad building. But yeah, man, big up Arteta. It's the best midfield for Arsenal, that's for sure. That's what we have to make it. Facts. Everybody compliments with their qualities to the player next to them, and that we have this variability, that diversity with the qualities that we need in rotation to the opponent. Today, again, we've seen it, we've changed it, and we bring other qualities in different moments of the game. That's a really strong thing to have. On the desire, the way the team tracks back is just unbelievable, especially when fitness-wise you're not there, which is what I was saying earlier in that we were so good yesterday. But the positive is we're nowhere near the finished article yet. So you have to get there in a different way. When you put your soul and your heart into an action, that's what happens. I talked about desire with the composure and the desire to have the ball that we have against a team that are really, really good in the way they press. They're really good when they regain the ball, especially inside and the manner they do their transitions. To have that courage and that composure is only if you desire to do it in that manner. We've done it today. I'm really pleased on that. On our willingness to win the league again, bro, I'm not even going to disrespect Mikel Arteta or the players by reading that, like, or the fans. Common sense. Calafiori, I think he can be a total player. We can ask him to occupy certain areas of the pitch, and when he gets in and around the box, he has this intuition, his timing to create goals, to score goals. But at the same time, we ask him the defensive duties to do what he has to do. We ask him because he's capable of doing it. He knows how to do it. And if we keep him fit and available, and with that physical condition, he's a top player. True, I must admit, as much as I love Calafiori, and some of you lot wanted to sell him. If I was a better man, I have to expect you to get injured, innit? Because that's what I've seen in the last few years. Which is why I love to have Hincapié. Be more consistent in everything, in his habits, in his ability, in his robustness, in his decisive actions in the game. That's why we have to put the focus on him, because he's capable of doing that. Now, when he was asked about Odegaard, he missed 5 or 6 months for different things, and it was extremely difficult for him to get any momentum. I'm sure this year, if we can maintain him fit, available to players around him, you're going to see a very different Martin. I sense from the day that he joined us, he has something else on the belly that he wants to prove and show, because the team needs him as well. On the players not included, just technical decisions. Obviously, the manager's probably telling a bit of a half-truth there, because it could be technical decisions. I think it's technical decisions with Nwaneri. I think there might be something in that Martinelli one, you know, because Martinelli normally makes the bench. Nwaneri was left out plenty of times. I'm trying to persuade the Premier League and the clubs to be able to extend the number of players that we can have. You don't know my thoughts. I've been saying that, especially the outfield players in the squads, because we play more and more games and the load is unreal. And not giving the chance to those players to be able to be here to participate, because maybe it demands the qualities of one of those players that we don't have them available. It's just a shame. So it's the most difficult part of the job. But there's nothing to do with that. It's just the fact that we can bring 18 outfield players, and we believe that for today's game, these were the options that we needed, especially with the conditions of certain players. It's true. But Arteta, one quality I think you have that Pep Guardiola has, yeah. When you gas a player too much, or you have conversations like this, I start thinking it's the end, because I've seen this before. Like, I remember when Nwaneri went on loan, he had a press conference like, I've been unfair, it's my fault, I need to play him. When Arteta gasses it too much, the days appear numbered. I'm looking for defensive additions, which we're going to need. Big up Mascara. I don't know if I made that clear. Shout out to Mascara, man. Yeah, Barcelona as well. Obviously, if they're going to get Rodri and whatnot, yeah, 100%. I think we're up there. We're definitely better than yours, though. Ask yourself, what is your man elite at? Who? Zolis all day. What an upgrade. Nothing like Trossard and Martinelli. Big up Trossard. The Osman people are moving me, by the way. I also want Osman now. I don't buy it though, man, because I'm not saying he's not. I don't think the debate for me is who is better. Is he better than Kyle? Whatever. It's just, and it's not my money. There's probably going to be a big wad of cash to depart with, whether that's transfer fee, wages, sell-on clause, etc. And then you look at it, as I said, the conversation for me is not if you sign Osimhen, he's going to clearly be the best, in my opinion, the best striker in it. Obviously, no man's without faults and whatnot. It's just a fact of you're going to spend that money and those finances on a already congested area where on paper we know he needs to go, but you have got Gabriel Jesus. Clearly, Osimhen's a better striker than Marino, but you do have Marino, you do have Gyokeres, and you do have Kai Havertz, all on handsome wages. I can't see it. Now, I'm just an armchair expert, but I can't see it. It don't make sense to me. When I start looking at it, it does not make sense. But yeah, we know that there are certain areas that through injuries we are weaker and we need to strengthen. We are trying to do that. We've been trying to do that for weeks. So only the right opportunity and the club is available to do it. We'll do it. On Declan Rice, I think he looked good in his 45 as well. Obviously, by then the game was done. He's done it previously. The last 2 or 3 years, he's done something very similar to that. So he's done it. He's already done it. Hopefully, he doesn't need to do that consistently and focus on the quality and the performance than the volume. But probably he will say the opposite. He will say that he wants to play 70 games this year because if he can, because he wants to go for everything. So maybe that's an element of sometimes saving the players for themselves. Calafiori spoken. There's no better way to start the season. I was a bit surprised to receive the ball. Trust me, all us fullbacks are right. Like when you make that run as a fullback, you're like, oh my God, I'm actually here. Don't fuck it up now. I might never be here again. I made the run with the intention to receive the ball, but it's an easy pass because Miles did amazing. Then I tried to put it in the goal. It's crazy. In brackets, 3 defensive players combined. It gives you an idea of our identity, our intention. It doesn't matter who stays in that part of the pitch, but you have to fulfill the role. He then went and said, I think it's also our way of receiving new players. It's so easy for them to settle in. When I joined, I had the same feeling. I have to say, great performance, especially from Christos, obviously Zolis and Bruno. He's the newest on the pitch, so I really like him as well. Cannot wait for the season to start. Thank God we play in 5 days time. I'm really excited. Fair play, man. What else have we got? And the notable absentees from the Arsenal squad. Timber weren't there, obviously owing to injury, as was Saliba, Nwaneri, Fabio Vieira, Reece Nelson, Martinelli, and Gabriel Jesus. Now, if I'm brutally honest, you two need to cut. You need to go. You will welcome you lot back when you're fit. It'll be very interesting to actually see what's going to happen with Martinelli. What's Martin Odegaard said? Sometimes you're just in flow. You need to find that on the pitch. All of us were flowing pretty good out there. I just tried to keep that up and keep going. Last year was really a big struggle with a lot of difficult moments. To miss so many games because of injury was really frustrating. It's the worst thing for a footballer to not be on the pitch. I had a lot of weird injuries and bad luck. What I have just worked on is to use that as motivation for this year and to come back stronger and to use all those experiences in a positive way. It was good for me to end the season with a title here and then a good World Cup. Then I had my break. I feel good, ready to go. See? Psychological stuff. Fair play. And we've gone over what Arteta has said there. What's this? You got to big up Miles Lewis Skelly, man. Fucking player, future captain. Big up Martin Odegaard for sitting Donnarumma on his ass. Big up our midfielders, Bruno, G, and Rice. Get used to it, Bruno, man. This ain't your first bit of silverware. Well, it is your first bit here, but it's not your last. Martin Odegaard, man of the match for me. We've now won each of our last 6 Community Shield matches. Come get your shit back. Big up Zolis. He played 90 minutes, got 2 assists, 4 recoveries, 6 touches in the opposition box. So he can be clinical with minimal touches. Created 2 big chances and got himself a medal, people. Odegaard has said we want more. We want to show our level. Of course, last year we won the league, but this year we want more. There's a lot more to play for. Want to do it again in the league. And then there are other trophies. There's a lot to work for and still a lot of room for improvement. What has he said here? It was really good, really natural since the first day. I'll say, speaking about something else there that I think we've covered. Breaking in the coming hours, movements are expected regarding Gyokeres to Barcelona. Gyokeres is considered an alternative after Ferran's departure and his situation will be explored. Now, there are rumors that quash this, but I must admit, it's pretty funny to see, Gyokeres being linked. Barcelona apparently are expecting to make movement in the coming hours to explore the Gyokeres situation. The player is considered as a replacement for Ferran Torres. So he's going to be your Lewandowski replacement because by then, don't you need 2 forwards? Because obviously, Gyokeres isn't versatile in the sense that you're just a striker, bro. Ferran can play everywhere. Anyone having Pedro Neto? Apparently, El Hilal are showing an interest in Chelsea winger Pedro Neto as of Monday morning. Chelsea are yet to receive a bid. Neto valued at close to 100 mil. You know what? It's finesse or be finesse. Like I don't know why I'm trying to find common sense with valuations. 100 mil. Oh, if he's going Saudi, fair play. Romano has said there's a lot of interest in Ethan Nwaneri. AC Milan, German clubs, and Galatasaray made contact with Arsenal. There's a feeling at Arsenal that Premier League clubs are now going to knock on the door for Nwaneri. There's going to be a lot of movement. Napoli, like Gabriel Jesus, they know the conditions of a deal. At the moment, my understanding is that the salary request by the player is too high, and Napoli still have to offload more players, so it's still not an advanced deal. Al Sadd are closely following Martinelli's situation. Arsenal value the player at more than 50 million euros, and last week he was linked with Galatasaray. Sammy Maltber said Reece Nelson is in talks with West Ham. My understanding of the situation is that the deal between West Ham and Arsenal is quite close for around 3 million. If it was a permanent deal, if they can come to an agreement on how much he would get paid at West Ham and the remainder of the money on his contract at Arsenal, if that can get sorted in the next few days, that's a deal that could move pretty quickly. Do Arsenal need to sell? I don't think they need to sell to comply with the financial regulations for UEFA and the Premier League squad cost ratio, but it's also a club that prides itself on self-sustainability. For as long as we can remember, it's something that the club has aimed to do with you. Probably why we got one in, one out policy. That means being good sellers in the market, which we're not. Supporters saying, let that player go on a free transfer. That's not realistic. That can't happen. These players are assets. I don't think it's necessarily a case that Arsenal have to sell in this window, but it's clear that it's one of the driving forces they want to sell. It's all about balance. And that does mean that there will have to be at least one more significant sale this summer. It's a very likely scenario. Fair play. From the very start of the summer, I was led to believe Martinelli wanted to stay at Arsenal and that he would only consider a move away from the club that could satisfy his sporting ambitions. I don't think at this stage of his career, money is the driving factor. He knows he's at a club that will challenge for elite trophies. And as things stand, he's probably first choice left winger. Oh, Zolis has come. At the moment, I don't see the motivation for him to go. Now, if Arsenal are successful in signing a left-sided attacker, his outlook might change. I heard some soundings towards the start of the summer that if the midfield planning went according to plan, I'm not sure that it necessarily has. Maybe towards the end of the window, Martin Zubimendi may be one that Arsenal looks to move on. It was something I was hearing at the start of the summer. Less so now, but if they continue running into difficulties with selling the likes of Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, and Ethan Nwaneri, I do wonder if there are big money takers for Zubimendi and whether the club will listen. Now, he's been linked with Chelsea, he's been linked with Real Madrid. Only God knows what will happen there, but would you not sanction that? Not to discredit any stories, but Jack Heisenwood is not a name I've heard. That does not mean at all that Arsenal are not interested in the player. I just haven't heard the specific information at this moment in time. It's not something I've heard. Quite a versatile player, so it would be a decent squad addition. What I was told during the World Cup, if Saliba was to have surgery, it would have been 4 to 5 months out. Thankfully for Arsenal, they managed to avoid that length of time. But I think we're still probably looking at a minimum of 2 to 3 months. So it's still going to be out for a minute. I'm led to believe Konza is the preferred option to Jarrell Kwanzaa for Mikel Arteta, who effectively wants a plug and play. Where the problem is, Arsenal have their valuation, Aston Villa have theirs. At the moment, they're about 20 million apart. Aston Villa, from what I understand, are not budging from the money they want, which is in the region of 60 million. I don't think they're under severe pressure to sell. If Arsenal want Konza that badly, they're just going to have to pay up. Well, so we got big up Edwin Quintero and Holger Quintero. They join us next August, people. So there's always going to be players. I mean, Romano did say over the weekend, Arsenal are still looking for a centre-back. They made some calls for Mark Pabil over this week, but the player is not for sale. Athletic Madrid have no intention to sell, so it's a non-story. In the last 24 hours, Jarrell Kwanzaa emerged as a new option. From what I understand, Arsenal made contact with Leverkusen in recent hours. The answer from Leverkusen was they do not want to sell the player, so they rejected the approach. Let's see if Arsenal will try again in the next days. The other name to keep in mind for Arsenal remains Konza. He's very appreciated. Arsenal are considering the player. They have had the player on their shortlist for some time. Nothing concrete between Arsenal and Barcelona regarding Gyokeres, says Fabrizio Romano. And we have seen over the weekend, Victor Osimhen is now the top request from Mikel Arteta. With Arsenal convinced they can seal a deal before the transfer window closes, Galatasaray have not set a price tag for the player, but hope to recoup their initial 70 million euros investment. I don't believe any of this, if I'm brutally honest with you guys, people. But yeah, Konza is a better centre-back. All of you flapping after pre-season games, how do you feel? Now hit the likes. Tell them again, Arthur, man. Jesus and Nelson still not willing to move. To be fair, I understand it. The move has to make sense. The move has to make sense. If I don't want to move somewhere, I'm not going to move somewhere. I have to get the contract that makes sense. I have to get the sporting project. Football is a job at the end of the day. No one put a gun to the club's head to put 100k on Reece Nelson's weekly wages. You did. And when you look at where the humble beginnings of Jesus and Nelson, money's important. So there is obviously that. Now, obviously, with my fan cap, you don't need to F off. That's what I would say with that. I don't know what Napoli likes, but Fairs get him off the wage bill. They need to rip up Jesus' contract if he doesn't want to leave. Enough is enough. Nelson is one big example of how bad we are at selling 3 mil. 3 mil's a mad thing, bro. Absolute mad thing, but get rid of him, man. Now we're getting over the Premier League. Marcel, just come get your shit back, man. Come get your shit back. Oh, bear Gyokeres slander. You lot get a life, mate. Get a life. Get a life. Well, you lot. The thing is, some of you criticizing Gyokeres are shit as well, bro. I hope they do, but they're still 18. We've got to take time. We tend to extend a lot of romance to our young players. Nelson, Maitland-Niles, and Ketia. The only player we got a respectable fee for was Willock. If Ethan is leaving, run the bread. I hear it. To be fair, it will be as well. I do think we don't sell at the right time. To be fair, though, Nelson's stock's never been high. And Ketia, I think in hindsight, we got a decent fee. Probably kept him too long. Balogun, we got a decent fee. Probably could have made more. I'm not saying we're the best sellers. Ainsley, Maitland-Niles, I agree. 100% I agree. Because we could have got 30 million for him. I'm sure he ended up leaving for free. So that is something. Get Rodrigo on the cheap. He should be fit soon. He don't. Would you want to move when your ACL's bust? And does he want to leave Real Madrid? Do we want to commit that finance to a player where we need to see his recovery? Marcel, you can't get Nwaneri. Don't dream about that. You can't be happy with Real. You can't do this, bro. You can't do this. But I'm just conscious of time, people. So I'm gonna have to wrap this up, people, if I'm honest. But yeah, big up you lot. Sorry I didn't do a watch it long. I was at the game. Appreciate you lot for chatting with me. If you've hit the like button and subscribed, appreciate you lot. Go and check out the match day vlog. And yeah, man, go and conquer Monday. Hope you and your loved ones stay in good health. Until the next one, man. Liverpool shit.
Yours